Don't you dare close that coffin, not until you explain who you are. The tomb guard barked, his fingers hovering over the polished walnut casket. The bustle of the airport terminal, travelers, rolling suitcases, bright departure screens, stuttered to a halt. The guard glared at the man in tactical wear who had just stepped off the elevator. Navy SEAL insignia blurred across his jacket. Absolute silence hung heavy as every eye turned toward them. From the corner of the arrivals hall, a soldier in dress uniform stood rigid, escorting the coffin draped in the flag of a fallen comrade. His jaw clenched, his knuckles white from gripping the casket handles. He felt the weight of solemn duty, the burden of respect, as the world around him seemed to freeze. He'd pledged no march without a salute, no arrival without dignity. And his vow stood there, unwavering. The newcomer's boots hit the terrazzo floor with practiced precision. He stared at the tomb guard, gaze cold and determined, his voice low but carrying across the terminal. "I'm here to honor Captain Reyes, and I will not let that coffin be mishandled. Not here, not now." The guard scoffed, shaking his head. "This is a civilian airport. Customs and security protocols override all. Your orders mean nothing until clearance." His tone was hard, a barrier built on regulations. But the SEAL didn't flinch. He stepped forward, hand raised, as if to touch the coffin. "Then call your clearance. Contact authorities. Because in 5 seconds, every screen in this terminal goes dark, and no plane departs until Captain Reyes is given the honor he deserves." And then, as though a cue triggered in unison, the massive LED screen above flickered off. Charging ports went dead. Someone screamed. The guard's radio crackled, orders from command. Passengers froze mid-step. A hush fell. The tomb guard stepped back. His face went pale. He couldn't hide the confusion. Around them, whispers broke out. Panic rose, but the coffin stood still. Immovable, sacred. Somewhere in the crowd, a child's sob broke the quiet. A mother tightened her grip on his hand. A uniformed TSA agent stared, mouth open. A pilot in crisp uniform froze, flight itinerary in hand. The entire airport stopped. For respect. Moments earlier, hours earlier, the SEAL had rushed off a military transport, suitcases dropped, eyes haunted. In a cramped tent on a distant base, he had watched Captain Reyes carry 2 young kids on his shoulders, smiling. A month later, a rocket blast, a mission gone wrong. He never saw the kids again. He only held the photo, a snapshot of laughter and innocence wiped out in an instant. He closed his eyes, swallowed hard, and whispered behind his mask, "You promised them you'd always protect what's sacred. So here I stand." Now the tomb guard's rigid posture softened. He looked at the coffin, at the flag, then at the SEAL. The rules he held onto suddenly felt hollow, discipline without honor, without humanity. "Fine," the guard said, voice cracking just a little. "We'll move, through security with full honors." He motioned to the uniformed escort behind him. "Clear the path." Passengers parted as a silent corridor formed. Crawling babies, tear-stained faces, old couples clutching carry-ons, all made space. Onlookers raised their phones, not to capture scandal, but reverently, as though recording something sacred. The coffin moved forward, escorted by the tomb guard and the SEAL. 2 soldiers bound by duty and unexpected solidarity. Each step echoed on polished marble. Warm light from overhead pipelines glinted off the brass handles, the flag, the insignia, the faces. As they passed, expressions softened. A businesswoman looking at her watch paused. A teenager with headphones tugged them off, eyes wide. Fathers nudged sons, mothers covered mouths. In that moment, protocols and ticket counters disappeared. A shared truth emerged. Respect demands silence. They reached the gate. An honor guard lined up. 4 men in uniform, rifles at port arms, faces silent, bodies straight as statues. The coffin was carefully placed on a ceremonial stand. Salute rifles were fired, 3 sharp cracks that echoed like thunder reduced to stillness. Then, a single fold. The flag was ceremoniously removed, a single silver star pinned to the undertaker's uniform. Eyes glistened across the room. Some bowed their heads, others wiped tears. The SEAL stepped forward, hand on heart. The tomb guard lowered his chin. Around them, strangers whispered prayers. Phones dropped. Cameras dimmed. For once, no one talked about flights, only about a man who fought and died and deserved honor. The terminal, once a river of motion, became a hall of reverence. No recliner seats, no carry-on wheels, only memory, only respect. Then, the power reversal. The seal, once the interloper, the rule breaker, became the anchor. The tomb guard, once the gatekeeper of regulations, became keeper of dignity. The passengers, once strangers in transit, became witnesses to honor. The guard turned to the seal, his voice quiet, humble. He was my friend once, when we stood together in uniform. I lost myself today, thinking only of protocol. You reminded me what we're protecting. The seal nodded. He exhaled. No one can carry that flag except those who believe it means more than metal and cloth. A single hush. Then, small, soft applause. Nothing loud, nothing staged, just hearts beginning to open. There will always be rules. But sometimes rules must bow to respect. Dignity isn't just about following procedure, it's about honoring what's sacred. The line between regulation and humanity is thin, and today, humanity won. Before we wrap up this story, drop a comment letting us know where you're watching from. We read every single one. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your feelings in the comments.